This is Bold TV.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, all those online. Welcome to another episode of Bold TV. Beautiful, outstanding ladies with disability, where we educate, inspire, mentor, and motivate the public, and also women with disabilities on disabilities issues. In this group, we solicit for your sponsorship and partnership in our program by subscribing in our YouTube channels and comment, follow us on our Facebook page. This program is brought to you by Bold Heart Initiative every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Today we have the 4 women in the house there to host today's program with my co-host today. And they are up. If you want to participate, want to join the conversation, you can call on the 5 women that most times are in the program. You can call on I, Freki, Afyong, Tomisi, Constance, and Chris. But today we have 4 in the house, so I'll let the women in the house to introduce themselves by way of name, location, what you do, and your type of disability. But I would like to introduce myself first. I'm Osaki Teresa Georgie. I reside in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, work with Fair Care Foundation, member of Bold Heart Initiative. And today I'm your chief host for today, and I'm so glad to be your host. So I'd like Constance to introduce herself. Okay, one more thing. I'm a polio warrior. So Constance, please introduce yourself to what I just did.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here once again. My name is Constance Onyemechi. I reside in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, a member of Bold Heart Network, founder of Women and Girls with Albinism Network, and I am a lady with albinism. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Constance. Afyong, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, beautiful people out there. My name is Afyong. I'm a member of Bold Hearts Initiative, medical lab scientist. I live and work in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury.
Thank you very much. Frank, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Freki Andresian. I'm based in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. I'm the ED of Fair Care Foundation and a member of Bold Heart Initiative, and I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury.
All right, thank you very much. As you can see, the ladies in the house, we've all introduced ourselves. Today we have a crucial topic, very interesting topic. And the topic goes like this: the power of community for women with disabilities. When we say community or group, it can be a group, people that comes together, that has similar ideas or interaction of common interests to be in a particular group or a particular place. That's what we say community. So a lot of things happen in the community. So they want to read, digest, and see the value why women with disability can join community. Most people just feel that they like to be stand alone. That alone is still okay, but you might limit yourself without you knowing it, and you will not be able to exploit that much. So today we want to talk more, dive deep inside why we should, or if you're already there, participate in a community. So I will go through the questions, and the ladies in the house and I will discuss all about what it takes to be in a community. So I would like to establish what is a community. Though I just said something few, but I would like the women 1 or 2 to say what community is personally to them. Constance, if you're there, please tell me, what do you understand by community?
Okay, thank you very much, Osaki. For me, I believe that a community is a group of people that you share common interests with, common objectives, who view the world together through the same lens. So I think for me, that's what a community is. Because, for example, we have there's this one in the CSO community now. We have a community of practice, and this is made up of people who are actually trying to see how compliance is being done and all that. So that's the meaning of community to me. You share common interests and you have a common goal. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Afyong, if you have anything to add, please add. What do you understand by community?
Well, for me, community is what's most important, in my opinion, is values you share. Because it's possible to share the same interests, but you don't have the same values. So even if you are pursuing a certain goal, if you don't share the same values, it's possible for you not to be able to actually achieve much. So for me, a community is a group of people who share the same values and who are willing to work together towards a common goal.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad we've all established what a community is here. Same value, interest, same goal, and want to share among ourselves. So, Frankie, what are the different types of communities we have? I know we have a whole lot of different types of communities. So just say a few that we have rested.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if we can really define types of communities, but if we're going to do communities based on location of late, so we'd say there are three types, as rural, suburban, and urban. But the other way, macro systems, microsystems, communities, there's really no clear type of community. You define it and then it has its types. Because we are doing community based on commonality, you have faith community, you have community of persons with disabilities. So coming into types of communities, it depends on what your denominator is when it comes to defining the community. Thank you.
All right, that's great. What I want to say is the different types, like disability community, faith group, faith-based community, social media community, different groups that you all are in the community and how you participate. So, okay, that's the different types of community we have. We do have social media. We have a lot, church people and others. These are groups of people that have values or are like minds. Now, how do we leverage in a community? How do we showcase ourselves in a community? What do we do in that so that, okay, I'm in this community, not just be silent in the community. Most of the social media groups that we're just there, we are just quiet, just observing without even contributing. How do you see what, put your own value in the community? Afyong. So leverage yourself in the community.
My understanding of leverage is that taking advantage of the group you belong to. It's like, your network. I think what you're referring to is how we can be, more participatory, and then contribute to the communities we belong to. And I think that starts with why you are part of that community. If you understand why you're part of the community, you must also understand why that community exists, the goals that the community has, and then you find out how you can, contribute. Let's say, for example, like where we are here in Bold Hearts Initiative, this is a community, and what we are doing here is disability centered specifically for women with disabilities. So if I were to contribute to this community, how would I do that? By, coming up with ideas, coming up with, putting up, discussing about subject matters like what we're doing on Bold TV here, things that would encourage, build up, educate the members of that community. And, I would make myself available for the purposes of ensuring that that community grows and its reach is widened. So I think, and then, to leverage your community means if I'm expected to go out there and achieve something, or I can go out there to represent. I know that wherever I'm going, I'm representing this community I'm coming from. And whatever I do out there, I must take into account the fact that there are people, that I'm part of. And also, for example, you have a project, you want to do, or you're applying for something. I can leverage this community and say, oh, I'm a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. This is what we do. And that makes me eligible for whatever it is I am applying for. I hope that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Afyon. I think you really digest on why, how you can live in a community. Because most times we are just like dormant people in a community, and all we do most times is complain. You've never bring out yourself to show that I can do this. Just like try and let people know what you are good for in a particular community, whether it's a social media group or Facebook or faith-based, wherever group you are. Like blowing your own trumpet. You should be known for something. Let's say that in this Bold TV, we know our different areas of expertise. If I want this, I know who to call and who to ask for. Inside this, our own group, and even inside the co-host, we know ourselves, our best we are. So that's what I'm trying to say on how can you leverage and to see how the community will grow, and also for your own interest, because you have to grow. It's not just the community grow, but how much you could contribute that you are happy doing. Constance, can you have your voice towards that?
Okay, thank you, Osaki. I agree with all the points Afyon has raised. They are very, very important points. And what I would like to add is, I think that to leverage on a community, or whatever community, starts from your interaction. Because leveraging on a community means building the community and also building yourself as an individual. And how you can do that is through interaction. You interact with other persons in that same community where you belong. Secondly, build good networks, because even within a community, you also have sub-communities in a community. Let me try to explain. So, like in the disability community, you have now being divided into different clusters of persons with disabilities, and in that different clusters, they all work together to achieve one common goal through sub clusters, as through sub communities. So you identify with the one, build strong networks, interact, and also lastly bring value. So it's not enough to just belong to a community and talk and build networks to build yourself, but you also have to bring value to that community, because as you are taking, you are also giving. So I think that's the best way to leverage on communities that we belong to. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Exercise more on the leverage part in the community of adding value. Sorry for the noise behind my background. But please, the next one is, what are the don'ts you don't do in a community? A lot of things happen, and that brings disputes. Most times, it's either you're violating the law in the community, or you just want to just be silent. And silent does not mean anything. You're just there, kick and pass. There's a lot that people do in a community that destroys the community, that even spoils everything from the origin. So I'd like Frankie to throw our voice in that one as what are the don'ts, so that our community can grow and we add value and also contribute and it gets into a bigger place.
So, thanks for the question. So, I believe that do's and don'ts are established within the communities. So, for example, one of the things that you will not want to do is join a community because everybody is joining it. You want to find out what is the aim of this community and see if it's going to be anything that is useful to you. Because in this era and time where it's very easy to belong to different communities because everything is free, people tend to just go everywhere and it's a waste of your time if you belong to a community and you're not going to add value or gain value from any community. So based on individual standpoint of view, I believe a don't would be don't rush to join communities because everybody's joining it. Using our space, for example, the disability community. You will not say, I want to join all the disability communities because of everybody's joining. Maybe you want to pick what aligns with you as a person with disability, whether it's just to gain information or whether you want to do rights advocacy or gender. You don't want to be everywhere. Another thing is when you enter into a community or a space or a group of people, you want to find out if they have existing code of conduct or ethics so that you can align. I've seen people who join groups, who join communities, and then they want to come with their own set of rules. And may I tell you straight, I say if you want to join a community and you don't want to abide by the code of conduct or the set of, guiding principles or bylaws or whatever it is they have named it that guides the group, then leave the group and go and form your own group with your own laws. But you see a lot of times people come into a group, there is code of conduct, and then they now come and they're like, hey, you don't want us to be free. And we're like, no, now. This group was established for a purpose. The people that form the groups have established how a person should engage or not. So you cannot come because people like coming with their own set of rules. So find out if that group is guided by either code of ethics, code of conduct, bylaws, constitution, depending on the level, and abide by it. It's like somebody saying that they are coming from another country and then they come into Nigeria and they want to now abide by the rules of the country that they came from and not the country that they're going into. It will not work. You would find out that you'll be always against the law. So those are the two main points that I want to say with respect to don'ts. But most communities establish their don'ts, so you want to find out what those are. Even in the faith community, you can know very well that different churches, apart from the basic tenets, of scripture, you will find that different congregations have their different doctrines. So it's not for you to now step into a place that has doctrine and then you now say, I must do my own. I don't always understand it. Don't go to where or form your own. That's my own. That's what I tell people. Stop fighting. It's when those code of conduct go against maybe things like human rights. But if it's for selfish purposes and things like that, to satisfy your own idiosyncrasies or individualistic notions, then you go form your own group. So that's what I would say about don'ts. You asked me about don'ts. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Freki. And I like that your contribution because it was a direct question to you because I see you're one of the best person that I've known when it comes to conducting. You are good when it comes to conducting a particular group, but you know how to structure, you know how to make the things work and how it flows. And I think there's a group I stumbled into the group and I found out that it's even like a community based on state. Though it was a general group, I now find that I was even in the Delta State group instead of River State group. Like, what am I doing here? So when I saw and said, I'm like, this group is not for me. And the only reason I've not really disconnected myself was that I wanted to see what's the value system of the purpose of why that group was conducted. So I went to just know why they created that WhatsApp. So I was okay, let me get their information. Once I'm done with what I'm doing there, I'll just delete because I wasn't meant to be in that WhatsApp group or in that community. I'm to be in a different or not even though I mistakenly add myself in that group. So things like that happen. From what Freki is saying, you have to know why you are joining a particular group. Afyon, please just took your mouth into this don't when it comes to community.
Okay, we are still talking about don'ts. What about the do's? Can we talk about the do's too?
I have put this.
Because as much as they are don'ts, they are do's too.
I have said this and don'ts.
Okay, let me do do's and don'ts. Number one, since Freki has talked a lot about don'ts, let me start with the do's. if you're a member of the community, it's like being a member of a family and then saying, I don't want to do chores. It doesn't work. If you're a member of a community, you belong somewhere, you carried your 2 legs, 2 eyes wide open, and you walk there, signed up for it, then that means you have a responsibility to not only abide by the rules, but also to make sure that you're not a problem to the community, you are contributing to that community. So if you know you have nothing to contribute, then don't be a problem. Try as much as possible. If it's a community where you can comment, if the only thing you do is to say good morning to everybody, you have done well. If it's a community where you have been assigned a role, try as much as possible to fulfill whatever role has been assigned to you, and ensure that there is proper communication. Because one problem we have in many groups is that young people are generally poor in communicating. And so, they communicate wrongly, and then at the end of the day, you see people fighting and just showing their village nature online. So it becomes a problem. So contribute to your community, find how you can add value to that community. Why are you there? If you're just there to receive, to learn, fine. If it's a platform that allows you to do so, fine and good. If you have something you can, because everybody has something to contribute. You have something you can contribute, please make sure you go ahead. There may be someone there that, you can actually assist. Someone may ask a question and then maybe the admin you can have an answer to it. That's one way to contribute. Somebody is celebrating something, you send your wishes. You make sure that, if there are rules, if for any reason you flout the rules, the simple thing to do is you apologize. If you have a valid reason for, there was a reason for that having happened, you apologize and ensure that doesn't happen in the future. If you're in a position to be able to, you have an idea or something that can be useful to members of the community, you don't need to know them individually, but you have an idea, or you come across information that can be useful, you put it up there. Someone can benefit from it. So those are some of the things that, help communities to grow and, flourish. But if everybody's doing their own thing and focusing on what concerns me or it doesn't concern, at the end of the day, such a community will not stand. So that is my own small contribution to this community.
Thank you very much, Alfiong. So we move on because people are watching and people are listening. Now, my next question will go around to all of us because a lot of things are happening. We have a lot of us that could contribute a lot in the disability community. And again, as women with disability, most of us are just, it's either we are shy or, like what Frankie said earlier, a community has already been formed and you want to just come and add your own code of conduct without even see how you can, maybe if you know there's something you want to add, you join it responsibly and not just put it at the side or distracting the existing code of conduct. So it's that some of us have so much to share or we don't want to even share with anybody. We are just comfortable with our own world, which is not bad, but not too good because as life goes on, everything I contribute for the other person, it's like it's a return back to me. So if one person is suffering in a disability community as a lady, that means I'm suffering too. Whenever I can also contribute to our own lifestyle, either directly or indirectly. So I want us today to share more why is important and highlight why is important and reason why we should join a community, women with disabilities specifically, because I know most of us that because you're already financially stable, you just think that I don't need to join anybody again. I want to be a standalone. Nobody's an island in a particular. You can't be a standalone. Does not really work because when something happens, before you know it, you are depressed and nobody to share your story or whatever that is going wrong. That's why this community exists. That you have somebody, you have sisters, you have friends to support you. So Constance, please give us an highlight why you should join a community. I teach the disability community. Thank you. So to
Okay,
go
thank
around.
you, Lucky. I'm surprised you did not ask me the do's and don'ts, but nevertheless, let me.
I know you can add on if you want to, but
So, for me, I think the reason why people should identify with a community is to, first of all, build support. Now, as a person with disability, especially a woman with disability living in Africa and Nigeria by extension, we all understand how disability is still also being frowned at, and the myths and the whole stigmatization things surrounding a person with disability. So joining a community of persons with disability kinds of give you the support that you most times don't get from your family or your friends. Secondly, it also opens you up to opportunities. In the disability community, there are a lot of opportunities that are shared, scholarship opportunities, job opportunities. So, and these opportunities, most times, when you go through, they see persons with disabilities are encouraged to apply. Now, if you don't identify with a community of persons with disabilities, most times you don't get to see these opportunities because these opportunities are spread across the disability communities and disseminated into different other sub-communities. So it also helps you, opens you up to opportunities, being employment, education, scholarship opportunities. It also helps you build networks. Now, we have a lot of persons with disabilities who are doing well, who have affiliations with international organizations. So when you identify with a community of persons with disabilities, you get to enjoy what they have, which is the network, the broad network they have. They can actually give you references for different fellowships you might be interested in, put in a word or two. So it also helps in doing that. It helps also to build your self-esteem, because as a person with disability in Africa, I mean, when you belong to a community of persons that are like you see people who are doing well, it boosts your self-confidence, it boosts your self-esteem to do better and take on the world. Now, for me, I would like to add that when you want to join a community, what you shouldn't do is to join with a bias. Now, some people say, okay, they've heard one or two things somewhere, and then they feel like if I join this community, I will not give them space. Nobody will step on me. The community is not built to step on people, but instead join with an open mind, join with a mind that you want to learn, you want to contribute, and then you want to grow. All positively, not negatively. You want to grow positively, you want to learn, and you also want to give back to the community. The community, being part of a community, has huge advantages that cannot be emphasized. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Constance. That's a very good one. I hope somebody out there is listening why she should join a disability community, especially when it comes to women. If you're a woman out there, you have to join one. Afam, please contribute to the same question, why you should join the disability community.
Communities, we've laid the foundation already that communities are places where, shared interests and goals, and some certain communities can be like a safe space for you to be able to, talk about things you would normally not be able to speak about. And then some communities offer you learning opportunities. Being part of a community or group increases your social capital. That means there's a saying that your network is your net worth. The people you know, the people you surround, the kind of people you surround yourself with also determine how far you go. So being part, depending on the community you belong to, it can help you, increase your net worth, and it help you increase your social capital. And then it can also help you, in terms of self-development. You can through communities, you can unlearn things you used to, you thought were good, or things that no longer serve you. You can come to the realization that, oh, this is no longer applicable. Oh, this is the, what is happening. This is what I need in my life. There are certain communities where they have mentorship programs that can help you to grow as an individual. So communities generally are there to help us improve on who we are and help us to go further than we would have on our own.
Thank you very much, Afshong. That's a very good contribution. Frank, if you're there, please add your own voice to why you should join the disability community.
All right, thank you very much. The ladies have said quite a bit, so I won't drag it out. But one of the things that I would say, especially for the disability community, is that you get to learn a lot, not just about your own disability, but about other disabilities, because some people tend to think that every disability presents in the same way. Just because two persons are using a wheelchair does not mean that they may have the same presentation of disability. And to be a good advocate, to be able to give counsel, it's also good to learn not just your disability, but other types of disabilities. And one of the great places to be able to learn that is through community. Another another thing that community is an advantage of is that you learn solutions, as you don't need to experience everything to learn. So it's a learning platform. You can learn how to deal with certain things, how to respond to things as they come, especially within the disability space. I found out early enough that for me to find some answers that were experiential, that medically, I didn't really get answers. The medical doctors will be asking you, so how is it going? I'm like, I came to you for answer now, and you're asking me. In that same me that was in that same space. So I found out that you can get a lot of learning experience from other people's shared experiences within our community, because the thing that ties us together or the identifier is disability. And then for women with disabilities, that gender also adds to that. So those are the two things I'm going to add. I don't know that's 2 or 3, but that's it. Thanks.
All right, thank you, ladies, for your contribution for today's discussion. What I just want to add up is an experience I had recently, that I had a kind of shift in my bone, and when I had that experience, I was going through a lot of things. And the moment I shared in the community which I belong, and I had so many consolations, many prayers and everything. And even though the family I had at that point were trying to console me, but I wasn't really, because I felt they didn't know what I'm going through. Maybe I was shouting pains. But when I met the women, when I put in the chat, and they all responded, because I know one way or the other, some of them might have gone through what I'm going through. So there was a relief. And I quickly called a friend that had that incident, because she had had it before now. And I asked her how did she manage it, and she just told me 1 or 2 things. And that was like a quick solution to what I was going through. And I also had a promise of a wheelchair from a friend, which I've not collected. I'm going to collect the wheelchair. So a lot of things happen because I'm in a community. And those are just the few things I can really say when you join and why you should join a disability community. So I'd like to draw the curtain here, because I know we've talked a lot. People are listening, people are watching, and these days people don't like long YouTube videos. Once it's short and direct, they're okay with it. So I'll remind us that same time next week Saturday, you'll meet another interesting topic from another co-host. So please stay tuned. Check us every Saturday, 10:30, Bold TV, powered by Bohat Initiative, and the write-ups will be flowing on the screen. So please always comment, share, and see how much you could subscribe in our YouTube channels. So I want the ladies in the house to put out their voice to say thank you as we've shared today's topic.
Thank you, as we have shared. What did you say? Thank you, as we have
shared today's topic. All right, thank you. Thank you, ladies. And also one more for online people. All I know is say thank you.
Bye, people. Enjoy
Bye.
your weekend.
Thank
Don't
you.
look for
Bye.
trouble. Oh. Dollar has
No.
gone up.
Thank you.
This is Bold TV.